Jeffrey Hoffman here from Fight Sport Focus and FightSportFocus.com, welcoming Jenny Clausius, a.k.a. Jenny Savage, to the Fight Sport Focus Faceoff. Jenny, thank you for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Every superhero, they've got an origin story. What's yours? Where do you come from, and what got you into fighting?
Well, I was born and raised in Clarksville, Tennessee. I guess you could say a number of things. Growing up with, as a middle child with two siblings, getting beat up on all the time.
Boys or girl siblings?
Oh, my sisters.
Okay.
Yeah,
Felt like we needed to clarify there. Okay, so scrapping with your sisters when you were younger. What else?
I would just get into a lot of, I don't know. I would see somebody get picked on, and I'd want to fight. I want a reason to fight anybody, justifiably. And then I got into boxing in middle school, and then wrestling in high school. So it was something that I never really foreseen, mixed martial arts, even though I kind of jumped. It wasn't something that I thought was possible for me. But then, time went by, and I've met a lot of great people. I had the honor of meeting my partner again after school. We met in wrestling and in high school. And he reintroduced me to fighting again through mixed martial arts.
So tell me, when and how did you go from Jenny Clausius to Jenny Savage?
The name Jenny Savage is kind of like a homage name to the Macho Man, Randy Savage, given by Adrian. It was pretty interesting because it was sort of like we had like a little joke. We were in the car and we were listening to Don Tripp, and he's a rapper from Tennessee, and he had an album with this one song, and I just was like, I love everything about this. And I don't know, he just was like, you remind me, your spunk is like Macho Man. And I just took a liking to him. I already knew about him as a kid growing up. I always heard his voice on Dexter's Lab, some of the episodes. I forgot which episode it was. But I just remember hearing him and growing up seeing him and Hulk Hogan. I'm a 90s kid, but, you'd always hear about the greats. So,
awesome. Yeah, and look, inspiration for a nickname from a classic. Jenny, tell me, where do you train and who you getting most of your reps in with?
I used to train at SSF, but I decided to relocate at Gamebred, where I train under Toby Imada. And it's a branch from like a California gym under Herman. I don't want to butcher his name. Torado.
Okay.
And they have just taken me under their wing, and I couldn't be more blessed, honestly. After everything I've been through this pandemic, losing my son's dad was really hard. So for them to kind of like not only take me under, it's like they kind of like rebuilt me, and like I said, I couldn't thank them enough.
Was the change in gyms because you were changing sports, going bare knuckle, or was it deeper than that?
It was a little deeper. I felt like it was more, I'm a little smaller. And the guys my size, I feel probably needed a better look. I found myself more on the bag. And, it was kind of bittersweet because I had like 7 years with that gym, and I love and respect everybody there. Nate Landwehr, UFC, he'll be fighting tomorrow, right? Yeah. He's been a huge inspiration as well. So I have a lot of love for them over there. It's just, I think it was time for me to find more of a concentrated gym so that I can have like a different look.
So speaking of training, how have you been staying sane? Look, the COVID-19 pandemic, lockdowns, quarantines, has it affected your training at all?
No, it hasn't affected much of my training. I've trained more now than I did in the past year, thanks to Gamebred. I mean, like I said, I found myself training with Adrian. He's had to go to train himself for pro wrestling in Texas before the pandemic, and I don't know. It's been pretty a little. I don't know. I guess you could say church has helped me a lot. I've been kind of helping out um, during service, and all the days that they have other gatherings, and I just try to stay mindful of the Holy Spirit.
Let me ask you, what do you like most about fighting?
I love that I can express myself freely.
Yeah, great answer. What do you feel is your biggest strength in the fight game?
My striking. I've always loved jujitsu, but I feel like, you know, striking has always been like emotional for me. So I feel like when I throw a punch and it lands, it's I don't know, it's satisfying, and I don't know. I get a little antsy when I think about striking.
Do you feel like you get to express yourself more or better through striking than you could through grappling and jujitsu?
I feel like I can express myself the most through full mixed martial arts, where I could fight in places like Mississippi, for example, with they're not so strict and they're not quick to stop a fight for no reason. They'll let a cut man look at you, unlike the last referee I had. Um, but I do feel a little more free in striking than jujitsu, yes. But there is times where, uh, you'll know somebody isn't really good at wrestling, and I guess you can say in that kind of moment, it's more satisfying to grapple somebody that scoots on their butt and pulls guard. So I don't know. It depends. It depends on the person, I think.
So, Jenny, we're going to go in the way back machine here. You've got, I was counting them up earlier, 22 or 23 total fights between your amateur and professional careers, right?
There's more that weren't recorded, but yes.
Okay. I want to know if you can remember, if you can recall now, what was it like the very first time that you stepped into the cage? What was going through your mind?
Oh man, I wanted to be my son's hero. Um, he was just turning 5, I believe. Could be wrong. I hope. Oh, if I'm wrong, I hope he forgives me. But and he just told me that I was his favorite superhero, and I said yes. I'm going to be an inspiration and break any curse, any generational curse my son might have that I couldn't overcome. Well, I'm overcoming now. That's what I was thinking.
What made you decide to take off the gloves and fight bare knuckle?
I honestly hit like a really low point. I think that my fear was always to get cut, and I got cut, and it wasn't a big deal. And that was my main thing is kind of like just that impact. I heard that bare knuckle will take care of you if you do get hurt, and I kind of like the fact that they let you fight. Like I said, there is some places where the referee tries to be the star of the show, and they try to do what they feel like they need to do. And I don't see that as an issue in bare knuckle.
Friday, December 11th, BKFC 15. You're facing Sheena Brandenburg, also known as Sheena Starr. What do you know about her, and what do you think she's going to bring to this fight?
Oh, Sheena is an amazing woman. She was there for me when no one else was. She I always looked up to her. I remember seeing her highlights from the beginning and being blown away. And I remember meeting her, and I literally said to her, I said, I would never fight you. And I just couldn't believe it now. I think it's really the pandemic in 2020 and the craziness, the madness. We're both women who have been through a lot. And I think what she's going to bring mostly is that fire. She's one of those people that, you don't want to get caught, making mistakes with her. And I could respect that. I know that she's not going to hold nothing back. And I feel like that's what the sport needs, whether it's bare knuckle or MMA or whatever. I think that there needs to be more people that are willing to fight, regardless of what um, is going on. Now, if it's just an uncomfortable situation, then maybe you'll need a good fight camp, but you shouldn't really not ever fight later on down the road because of this, because we have a limited amount of people who have the balls to actually get in there. So we can't really be playing around and saying, well, let me pad my record real quick. That doesn't get you very far, and you'd only get left with embarrassment. So I like fighting people like her, and I don't care how this ends up. I really am excited to get in there and just express myself with my friend.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you next. And you don't have to answer it if you don't want to. Any predictions on how this fight's going to go?
Um, I don't. I can honestly say I don't see myself hanging my head down low, if that makes sense. I don't can't really say victory, how it would be. I wouldn't bet against myself. I mean, then why would I fight? But um, I see myself walking out extremely happy. So that's all I could say.
So you're going to be making your bare knuckle fighting championship debut. Tell me, how'd you get your foot in the door with BKFC?
I was told that there was opportunities ahead and a bunch of girls that need, more people to fight. I mean, I feel like some people maybe get in there the first time and discover that's not what they want. Maybe that might happen to me. Who knows? Might hurt my hands, or I don't know. Some people just figure out that it's not what they want. So they I guess they found me and asked if I wanted to fight. I honestly said I wanted to fight before Christmas so that I could have a better Christmas this year. And I think somebody seen that maybe and contacted me, and I said, well, you know what? It's so funny because I said I would never, ever, 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 ever do it unless I was going to retire. But I looked into it further and I realized that you don't really get hurt like that. And it's a little bit safer than, some people argue, a lot safer than boxing with a big glove impact. So
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, why not?
I don't know if there's. I don't know if there's much of an argument there. I think the data is pretty conclusive that gloved boxing is one of the more dangerous combat sports because of the continuous hits, and it's similar with football where the players, American football, I should say, the players that develop the most head injury are the linemen, and they're not making the biggest of hits. It's just the volume of them that is what's worse for you. This might be a hard question to answer currently, but you interested in the idea of continuing your career with BKFC after this fight, or is that still all up in the air?
I believe that I will continue after this fight. I don't plan on, getting this far just to, have my debut and walk away. Um, I have confidence that I will impress everyone that's watching. Um, I'm gonna upset a lot of haters, uh, regardless, because I know I'm gonna be standing still. But yeah, I roughened up my hands. My hands look pretty gross. Um, I'm not I'm not just having one fight. I don't think, not unless something extreme like, I guess, my hands hurt or something. I wouldn't really think anything else. I mean, I've gotten into a bare knuckle, I guess you could say, scuffle at a pro wrestling event recently, about a year ago. So I got a little bit of feeling what it's like to catch a forehead.
Yeah,
Um,
we talked about this before we started with the show that everybody's kind of got a little bit of experience bare knuckle, right? But you usually stop when you leave the schoolyard. So it's great to see
y-
people taking that experience professionally.
yeah, yeah. I think adrenaline will cover up the pain. So as long as that happens, I mean, I don't see why not. Like I said, I think the worst has already happened. My last fight, when my eyebrow was hanging over my eyeball. They could have put Vaseline on it though. Whatever.
So I saw on Facebook, Sheena posted a photo of you that was being used to help promote this fight. It was a great photo, I thought, maybe somewhat revealing. And Sheena suggested that she was upset that promotions were still using sex to sell fights with female combatants. Do you feel like that's a serious issue in female sports, or do you think that the whole thing was kind of blown out of proportion?
I think that everyone's entitled to their opinion, and I think that instead of one side or the other, that there's a bigger picture that involves both. I think that there has, with women as a whole, there's a movement going on where they're more independent these days. Um, I think what it was posted for is what a lot of casual fans would probably want to see to be drawn in to watch the fight. And I think that's smart because marketing is everything. That's what I'm going to school for. So in my opinion, I think it's smart for the business aspect of it. And I think it's smart for myself because I mean, overnight I got 6,000 followers on my Instagram thanks to the post. So I think yes, I guess you could say sex sells. That's not the look I was going for. It's just a little bit more like a bra than what I would wear in the cage. But other than that, I'm wearing pretty much what you would see. I've seen girls with booty shorts. I've never worn booty shorts in the cage. You know, got their coochie showing through their shorts, and they know they are. They got like their thong through their see-through shorts. But you know, I'm not doing anything that's too crude, and so I feel like I'm pretty secure in that area. I think it's a pretty picture. And shout out to Joe Pruitt.
So, Jenny, this kind of all ties in. Do you have any advice for aspiring young female fighters out there that might be listening?
Of course, don't let the haters phase you. I ultimately hope that one day women could be more accepted. I feel like we have to fight to get the coach's attention, to get respect from our teammates. We have to jump through hoops. We have to always be told, why are you dressing up? You know, who are you trying to impress? And then over here, we got to, you know, somebody saying you're ugly. Why don't you put on some makeup? So I think that it's ultimately up to what you think and what I mean, if you have a relationship with God, if you don't, that's fine. But if you do, tap into my God is Jesus. But, you know, tap into that and try to find what it is that your identity is and step into it. Don't do what other people want you to do because you'll fail.
Jenny, this is your time. Do you want to shout out your school, coaches, sponsors?
Oh, I want to shout out to Game Bread again. If I butchered your name, Herman, I'm sorry. I want to shout out Toby Amata. Most importantly, my babe, my coach, my trainer, my everything, Adrian Thomas. I want to shout out my son. He's been a fighter. He's been my rock. He's been my motivation to fight hard and to just take big risks. And this is one of them. And I just want to show him that. And everybody, I just want my message that if you're feeling lonely during this time, you know, don't be afraid to reach out to somebody that, like, heck, me. You can reach out to me. I honestly think that reach out to your friends, your loved ones, get help. All I can say is I'm at a loss for words every time I talk about that. I just want you to know that, you know, I've lost a loved one, and it's devastating. I can't say that, you know, I'm upset with him at all, but I just hope that if you have any type of mental illness or if you're lonely and you're just contemplating anything like taking your life, please seek help and talk to somebody that you love.
Jenny,
this needs to be something that we talk about in the dinner table.
Yeah, Jenny, I agree. Thank you so much for being on the Fight Sport Focus Face-Off, sharing your story, sharing these inspirational words and these words of wisdom. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Guys, don't forget, follow us on all platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter at Fight Sport Focus, and visit our website, fightsportfocus.com. Also, subscribe to and share this podcast on Spotify, iTunes, Google, or wherever you get your podcasts. Until next time, I'm Jeffrey Hoffman. Thanks for listening.